You are now listening to Fight Life Unfiltered.
Because I'm thinking you'll be done at 2.
Or
Yeah. So we're about to run TJ's weight cut. TJ fights tomorrow, right? So what do
are
you
y'all here all day?
I'm here for him and Will. They'll be done at like 2. And then they go to weigh in at 6 o'clock. It's an hour drive, so you'll have time.
Are you leaving from here?
I guess. I didn't drive.
Will's gonna take you.
Word.
Yeah.
You about to be turned up. I got that bag right
He
there.
doesn't know yet, but
I got a coconut water
He's
for
got
each
his
of us.
coconut water.
For each of us, and that bag is full with nothing but healthy ass munchies. So as soon as we step off the scale, we can start munching.
Healthy ass munchies.
Hell yeah, man.
How many fights you have?
It's my first.
Your first
debut.
one.
That's what I'm saying. Amy debut might be like the biggest. I don't usually I don't know. I get nervous when I have a friend that's Amy debuting.
Yeah.
I'm definitely not nervous about. Like, I just know you're gonna go out and work the dude, right?
It's so weird, man, because like everybody keeps saying that to me, like in different, like not exactly those words, but
Bro,
just in different
I
ways.
watch film, bro.
And, like I understand it, but at the same time, I'm the
I
one
watch
doing the
film.
thing, so I don't
Yeah.
understand what y'all mean by
It's nerve-wracking for sure. Like yours reminds me a lot of Miami debut, where it was like definitely like, you know, a little mismatchy, right? But it's fighting, right? And you're like, bro, this
Never know.
motherfucker's trying to kill me, right? Y'all telling me I'm gonna smoke him, but he's trying to kill me.
Right.
So
Well, see, and I
there's that
think like
nervous.
one of my biggest advantages is that like simply I grew up in the streets, dog. Like I've been banging with motherfuckers my whole life.
Yeah.
Like,
You
so
also- you
this
also-
ain't nothing new for me.
You also played a lot of sports, right? You played at a high
Exactly,
level. Did you
yeah.
play in college?
hmm
Where did you play at that?
I no, I was in LA. I didn't meet
LA?
until 2.5 years ago.
Oh yeah, LA.
Yeah, I played in LA. I was at so I had 4 rides out of high school and then ended up catching a bunch of charges, lost all my scholarships from NAI up to D1. Went to California to start the JUCO route, got all scholarships back, and then I died.
Yeah.
You died?
I
Yeah.
died.
45 minutes.
No brain activity, no heart activity.
Damn,
He's not supposed to even be able to talk to you right
that's
now.
crazy.
Show him the score.
So
I've probably seen it right
I
away.
had it.
Oh shit!
Defibrillator
Actually, I've
right
never seen
here.
that. That's wild.
I'll never take my shirt off. So,
Yeah,
Yeah.
hard defibrillator.
How'd
Up
you die?
until, I'll say about 2 years ago.
so like we're having a conversation right now.
Yeah, yeah.
Just drop dead.
They couldn't figure out why.
Heart?
either.
Cardiac arrest.
They don't know.
He started bleeding black out of his holes, his ears, his eyes, his nose.
What
Yeah.
year?
I hope the commissioner told me
2020.
this shit.
2020, January 9th, 2020. I'm 5 years old.
Damn, son.
That's
Yeah.
crazy, bro.
It's
Did
not.
you have to go through like extra medical shit?
Oh, yeah.
So
Okay,
I went
I'm
through
just
8
making
months,
sure.
like,
Be
8
like,
months of PT.
we're cutting this part from the podcast. Yeah, well, we've been wrong.
It was 8 months of PT. Like I had to relearn how to walk, talk, eat, had to learn how to remember things. So my memory was shot. So the only thing I truly suffered was an anoxic brain injury, and part of my brain is completely shut off. The part that controls my like emotions. So like he can tell you like I'm like not a sympathetic or empathetic person, and if I am that for you, it's because I'm thoroughly trying to be. It's not natural for me
Were
to
you
be.
beforehand?
And I mean, kind of, sort of, but no. I've always been an
crazy.
asshole. Everybody knows
When
that.
did this happen?
January 9th of 2020.
Did y'all know each other then?
Nope.
Mm-mm.
Damn,
I've
bro.
only ever felt, I had this weird feeling though. It was weird because we had a discussion about it, and my mom passed away in 2021. And I was like, bro, like it's hard to explain that feeling to somebody unless you've had somebody that close to you like pass away. The only other time I've ever had that feeling was in January of 2020, and I didn't even know this nigga. Like, and I was during that time I just had torn my AC. I just did my last ACL, so I was like, yeah, I'm not depressed about that because I already did it before. Like I was cool, but I was just like, why do I feel like I'm losing something? It doesn't make sense. Then I found out this nigga died.
Well, you know there's like studies that show rats on the East Coast, if they train them,
Mhm.
rats on the West Coast can actually do a maze faster.
That's interesting.
Morphic resonance, I think is what it's called.
Interesting.
But I mean, I think
Ooh, that just
there's
made me chill.
there's shit
Ugh.
there's shit that goes on.
Bro,
Here's one.
absolutely.
All right. So talking about like weird shit like this. My dad's father wasn't really a part of his life. So when
Right.
my dad was 2 or 3 years old, my grandmother and my biological grandfather, my grandfather left him. And to make a long story short, we knew where he was. when my dad was an adult and I was born, my mom kind of forced my dad to like
Good for
drive
you.
45 minutes to go over and see him. And it just was like, the dude was a piece of shit,
Right.
you know? So that was it. We just never talked with him again. And as I got older, had kids,
Right.
I was like, man, I want to go and talk to this guy on my own. I'm not even gonna like have my dad involved, but I'm gonna look him up. I'm gonna go find him on my own. I want to talk to him like, you're my fucking grandfather. Like,
Right.
what's going on, man? Like, no judgment, but just tell me the story, like from your eyes, because I know it from my grandmother's eyes. I know it from my dad's eyes.
Two different lenses.
And I Google his name, obituary. He died 3 days before.
Wow.
Goodness.
That's crazy.
Like, why did I all of a sudden out of nowhere have this
Like,
desire to want to
yeah.
look him up and go figure it out? You know what I mean? Like,
Man.
Crazy.
I mean, I'm getting chills right now. thinking
I got
about it,
it.
you
Head
know what I
to
mean?
toe.
Yeah.
But I
Yeah.
called my dad and I'm like, hey, I don't know how to tell you this, but your dad died. He's like, what? I'm like, your dad died. He's like, oh, okay. So then he like changed. I'm like, yo, no, your dad died. He's like, how did you find out? And I told him what I was doing. He's like, and my dad's like, what the fuck were you going to go see him for? Like,
Right.
You don't care.
yeah, didn't, I mean, and he just had been calloused over 50 years of his life of just
Fucking
not
right
caring,
there.
right?
Yeah.
But I think about that all the time. I'm like, man, there is something bigger.
Mhm.
There's a reason. There's,
Mhm.
and for you to say that just really resonated with me.
100%, bro. I can tell you straight up and honestly, bro. Like when I met Cuz, I was just like, this is weird for me because I was 26 when I found out about him. He knew about me since he was a younger kid. So like,
Oh, really?
I mean, I knew, but I didn't. So, like, my mom says, like, I don't remember her saying this, but she said when we were up visiting my grandfather in Massachusetts, my aunt Courtney had like spilled the beans and was like, and that's why your mom fucking lied and you got a brother somewhere. I don't really remember her ever saying that. And supposedly she told us on the drive back down to Virginia that she said it, but I don't really remember it.
You were young.
Yeah, I was young. My sisters do, but I don't. So, like, for me, it was the same kind of experience. Like, I'm literally sitting in my house in LA playing Call of Duty. I look down at my phone ring. I'm like, 412. I ain't never seen no error code like that. FaceTime calling. Usually, like, I don't answer calls, but if it's a FaceTime, you gotta know.
Yeah, yeah.
So I answered it. I'm looking. I'm like, that nigga looked like my mama. I'm like, yo. And he's like, is this TJ? I was like, yeah. Who is this? Ain't no way to say it, so I'm just gonna say it flat out. I'm your older brother.
I love how you said older.
Bro, I was shook.
yeah,
I was shook, like to my core. And my homies, like my roommates are there, and they both just look at me, and I'm just like,
That's
did y'all just hear what I just heard? Like,
crazy.
it was wild.
What prompted the phone call?
so it was my birthday when I found out, right? And I've been trying to get my birth certificate for like 15 years, bro. Could never get it because my parents either A would hide it from me, or when I would try to go get it myself, it was the whole way in Woodbridge, Virginia. So I was like, I can't even get my birth certificate for real. And I asked them to send it to me. Every time I asked them to send it to me, it never made it to me. So then the one time I said, fuck this, I'm just gonna go to Woodbridge my damn self and just go get it. While I'm literally thinking about going to go do this, because the next month I was supposed to go to Cabo, Mexico with my ex at the time.
So that's why you need your birth
I
certificate.
needed my birth certificate, so I needed
Yeah.
my passport. My dad like called me. It was about like 7 a.m. in the morning. He said, "I need you to meet me at this park." I'm like, nigga, for what? He was like, I got something to tell you. I was like, okay. He's like, I don't know how to tell you this. Your mom was gonna tell you eventually, but you're adopted. You have 4 other siblings that know about you. I said, you're capping, bro. Like, he's like, nah. He said, here's your brother. He died in 2020. Here's your 2 sisters. Then I got a cousin brother, but that's a whole nother story.
That's,
Wait, they died in 2020,
yeah,
Yeah.
that's me.
and then you found out he was alive.
Uh-huh.
That's
So
wild.
wait, they thought he had.
No, so my
Passed
dad
or
knew
they-
that he was alive.
Oh, okay.
I had
Okay.
no idea.
Okay.
You feel me? So like, and when he said that, I was like, nigga, what? He was like, nah, like your biological mother's still alive. I said, hold on, slow down. So found that out. I called her. That was a whole emotional situation. She's like, yeah, but your brother's in LA. I said, give me his number. 'Cause at the end of the day, out of all the bullshit, I always wanted a little brother. You feel me?
Yeah.
So if anything, I always wanted him. So I was just like, let me see what this little nigga look like. So I just called him. It's just like, yo. He picked up the phone. I said, oh yeah, that's my brother. That nigga look just like me.
Yeah.
It was
Like,
trippy.
It was
Like,
trippy.
you'll get to meet mom tomorrow, or actually, you're gonna weigh in tonight.
I won't be there
Well,
tonight.
you'll get to meet her tomorrow. She'll be there.
Hell yeah.
When them two stand next to each other,
I look the most like her.
You'll get to meet
Correct.
all of my siblings. Everybody's
That's
gonna be
crazy.
there.
You the
It's-
oldest out of all the
No.
siblings? No.
No.
It goes my eldest sister Jacor, our eldest sister Jacole, Juanita, him, then me.
I mean, the fact that you two are sitting here together on a podcast is pretty dope as shit.
Yeah.
It's our first time.
It's our first time.
You know what's dope too is like they're both like high achieving dudes. You know what I mean?
Appreciate
Like,
that.
like you guys like obviously like you're out here doing your fighting shit, and obviously you've done a lot. Trey played football,
Mhm.
and you know he's out here always hustling, and it's just you know you can tell it might be a genetic thing,
I
right?
was
It
just
might
with your
be
guy
something-
Brian. We were talking about.
He has.
Yeah.
Hey, man.
Dude, and shout out to I got to give Brian some props too because I was telling him I was at the Regis when he was renting a short-term office
Yeah.
back at the Regis next to Dick's,
Yeah.
you know, and he had these visions, and it was like, okay.
Wow.
We were just at a birthday party of a mutual friend of ours, and I was like, dude, I got to give you props. You've stuck with the vision.
I heard
you know?
about you and you don't even know it.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Hopefully good. Hopefully
things,
good.
man. He talks about that small ass office all the time.
Yeah,
He said it
yeah.
was you and him and his boy Eli, and it was just a very few amount of people, and they just y'all building shit.
Made it
Yeah.
happen, man.
Yeah.
Okay.
No, you're good.
That's what it's all about. That's what it's all about.
Absolutely. So how did you end up in Pittsburgh training?
Another funny
We're
story.
gonna have to cut part of this out, but I'll be very honest with y'all.
Cut this out.
That's,
sure.
that's on you.
So when I met him, right, it was you called me around in September?
Mhm.
You called me in September. I was living a completely different life. I was what they would call these days a young rich nigga. I flew out here every other weekend, damn near, just to come meet this motherfucker, just to get to know him. But I had the bread to do it. Why not?
Yeah.
Yeah, I was like, you know what? Fuck it. Yeah, can I come live with you? And we figured it out
That's
since.
crazy.
Yeah.
Basically, bro was just trying to get kid to actually see himself for what he was worth. You know what I mean? Because at the end of the day, bro, we all make mistakes, especially at young ages. Like
Oh,
we
yeah.
do things that we don't always agree with. And I remember being in his position before. I had really like turned myself into an athlete, right? Like there's things that I've done that I wouldn't be happy with today, but like I seen him and I was just like, I know what it feels like to be in his position. And then I seen how much he cared about the sport, right? His passion behind it. And I was like, you give yourself to so many different people on a day-to-day basis. When are you going to give to yourself? Right.
Damn.
So like, and when he decided to, bro, like now we're here, we are, and he's out here about to kick this nigga's face in. You feel me? So it's like,
Don't do that. That's
Don't get that. I know.
but it's glorious to see that like he's able to chase his dream now, not chase the wrong things. You feel me? So God's blessing him in a specific type of way, this specific type of opportunity, right? But now it's just going to see on how he wants to continue to utilize him to change lives. Because, bro, like he hasn't even really told his story fully yet. Like he told his story for the first time yesterday, like
10
for the
o'clock
first
at
time
night.
to the public. Like never ever said it before. You know what I mean? Just that alone is different, right? It takes a whole bunch of pressure off of your shoulders. So I'm happy that he's in this position now. I want to see how far he can take it. Talk to this man Lucas pretty much like every other week. Just
Yeah.
like, yo, like what do you think? Because it's one thing, you feel me, to say somebody's good at something, but bro, I know talent, bro. Like I've been around a bunch of professional athletes damn near my whole life. You feel me? So like keep it real type. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
He's always kept it real, bro. But he said that the kid's talented. He's really good at this shit. He picks up shit fast. So at the end of the day, bro, we're gonna see what he can really do. You know what I mean? I put my best foot forward. And also told Lucas there's some things we got planned for him and him together, you know what I'm saying,
Yeah.
in the future. But here we go.
And so you were training at the academy first, right?
Yeah, so when I first got out here, that was the first gym that he got me in because Cowboy Eddie, I'll give you a little shout out, you ugly motherfucker. That was his boy, and he had got me in there. He knew Kama as well, so
Yeah.
got me in there, was training with them for a while. I mean, all respect and much love to them because they got me back into it. So one thing that you may not know is that when I was in LA, I was actually like getting ready to have my debut there.
I think he told me that.
Yeah, I was supposed to have a debut March of 2020, but I died January 2020.
Yeah, usually like
I was
those are
training
kind of
under,
good.
shout out to Emmanuel Newton, former Bellator heavyweight champion of the world. He's the one who actually first seen my potential. I was at a UFC gym. It was just like, I never even knew they existed.
Yeah.
Had pulled up to one because it was right down the street from my house, and you get like a free trial with them. And whenever you actually sign up for the gym, you get to train with the owner of the gym or one of the coaches. Well, I was doing one of the classes, and he was the one teaching it. Pulled me to the side at the end of the class and was like, hey, I really don't say this to a lot of people, but straight up, you got it.
Yeah.
He's like, if you really want to do this, I'll train you for free because you got it. And man, I sat there and I was just like, I didn't know what to think. I was like, I mean, like I said, I grew up fighting. Like I've done this my whole life, but never in an actual like professional like setting. So yeah, I ended up taking it serious, and I realized like, damn, I really can do this like really well. Like they didn't have me spar the people in the gym anymore. They had me fighting the coaches,
Yeah.
people who have already gone pro, have done this, yada yada yada. And I mean, I was holding my own, so they were like, damn, this kid is different. I mean, at that time, I was 21. Like I was like prime condition. I just finished. No, I was actually still in college track. I was still doing college track. Had started getting offers and everything to go back to being D1. And then yeah, I died. So this has been next or when you fight pretty much will be 5 years. In March will be 5 years in the making this is.
That's crazy.
He's passed, yeah.
I mean, when you hit me up about him, like me and you got connected through, like, honestly, I don't even know.
So I stalked Lucas for a while. I ain't even gonna hold you. Lucas is real. I stalked this man because I seen some of his stuff, seen that you had wrestled at West Virginia. Somebody had mentioned your name. I said, let me see what homeboy's about. You feel me? Like, let me see how good he is. Seen a fight or two. I think you fought in West Virginia at the prison or something like that. I don't know if it was was it at the prison?
It was in Fairmont or something like
And
that.
I was just peeping, like, yo, like, 'cause again, I know talent, bro. Like, that's one thing I can humbly say that I'm very like good at is like seeing when somebody has true, genuine potential in something.
Hmm.
Bro, I'm watching Lucas. I'm like, bro, this motherfucker's fluid as hell, bro. Like, and just enjoying himself. So I just followed him. I just want to see how far the journey would go. And then I seen that he was in Pittsburgh. I was like, maybe there's some synergy here. You know what I'm saying? So reached out, man, and just for me, bro, I'm a type of person where I just want to see people be great. And I don't know why. Like if you ask me like why is this so important for you, I don't fucking know. I just do because I care about people.
I think, I mean, it's, things attract like things,
You
right?
know what I mean?
Yeah, I
It's
agree.
like it's why I like, reached out to, initially it was, I wanted to have him on my other podcast. And when we chatted, it was weird because I think we both kind of had a similar thought,
Right.
maybe different until we had a conversation. But I was like, man, it'd be like, I wouldn't mind having a chat with this kid every week, talking about different things and
Right.
fighting and life. And, because I won't, and most Friday mornings, I'm not even back up into the North Hills before my phone's ringing and he's like, hey, did you get a chance to like look at that one thing or how did the audio, it's like,
Yeah.
this kid thinks the way that I think. Like
Exactly.
I just, you know what I mean? There's levels to it.
Right.
For the podcast game.
For sure.
Like if I had $1 for every time somebody was like, hey, I got a podcast or you want to do it, I'm like, yeah, sure.
Well,
Like,
how long are you
tell
willing to-
me when you get past episode 10.
That's really what it
Call me
is.
when you get past episode 50 or call me when you get past episode 100. Like I've been doing this shit for 5.5 years. Like, and
That's real.
most of my episodes sucked. And like you were mentioning, like, wow, these are starting to get better. Every time we
Yeah.
do one, it gets better.
For sure.
But it all starts with having commonality and seeing
100%.
something in somebody. And
I think, yeah, and I honestly, I think me and him, I remember the first time like being around him, like peeping your IG and stuff, and just being like, we're similar, right? And for me, if I'm gonna do something, I gotta be all in, right?
Yeah.
That's how I am. And that's how I've been with this podcast. And I've like had a lot of people that wanted to start podcasts, wanted to do this and that. And I just like unless I'm all in, like if I'm doing it, it's done right. And like I didn't have the materials or ways and means to do it that way. And
Or
then you
somebody
came
that's gonna-
along and I was like,
or somebody
"Can't do
that's
it with
gonna
it."
they want to do it
Yeah.
until you're like, hey, we're meeting again. Like, dude, every
Yeah.
Friday we're here. I mean, I've
Yeah.
restructured
Yeah.
my Fridays, and I'm glad that I have. And
Yeah.
but I'm willing to do it because I have somebody that's accountable.
It's gonna hold you
That's
accountable.
gonna, you know what I mean? Like, we're
Yeah.
both busy. You're doing your thing. I've got a lot of things going on, but it's like Friday mornings. That's podcast time for the Fight Life.
Right.
Yeah.
That's nice.
You
I
know?
love that.
And then so Tre, like I went on his podcast a couple times, Athletic Aesthetic, right?
Mhm.
And
You do that with Vinny, right?
Yes, sir.
yeah, I like Vinny. Vinny's cool as
Then he's
shit.
goofy as
He's a good
hell.
dude.
Yeah, that's my dog. Shout out to V.
So I did one with Cowboy,
Yeah.
right? That got banned for reasons. And then he had me on before I had my summer fight, so in July. And then, we like chat every once in a while, like text. And then he texted me about TJ. And like I was just like, all right, like I like Tre a lot, right? We think similar. I was like, all right, man, like I got you, like I'll hook you up, blah blah blah. And I'm like because I don't invest in people because I think people will break your heart if you invest the wrong people, right?
Right.
So I'm like, I'm like, all right, we'll see what's up, right? If he's like consistent. And I was like, hands off, right? I'm gonna get him signed up. I'm gonna see how he acts,
Yeah, yeah, I respect
right?
it.
And I like peeped that he was coming to practice. He was consistent. I was like, all right. And I like made like a little side deal with one. I think it was
It was
Tre.
me.
Yeah, and I was like, all right, if he comes for like 2 months or
Mhm.
something, well, I'll talk to Mike about getting him a fight. And he was consistent as fuck, right? He was there all the time. And I talked to Mike, right? And I'm not like Mike's my A1. Like I'm not gonna put my neck on the line for somebody
Yep.
I don't trust, right? So I was like, let's get TJ a fight. And we tried to get one in December, and then me and Mike, literally, I was like, we both like TJ because, like, as soon as I met him, I was like, he's cool as shit. Kind of reminds me of Tre. He's like happy guy, but he's got his own like, his own vibe with him. Um, and then fucking, we watched you practice probably like a month and a half ago, and we were like, oh, he's cold. Like he's so good. And then I grappled because he'd be like, will you spar with me? And like he's a little bit bigger, and I'm like, I got a fight coming up because
Smart,
I did have
yeah.
a fight coming up. It was like October. I was like, I gotta be safe right now. And then I finally got to grapple with him, and I was like, damn, I didn't sub you. That's wild. Because like, I mean, a white belt in the gym, like,
Yeah.
yeah. And I was like, damn, okay. And you're just moving like he had this natural way of grappling. And I had seen him strike before, and I was like, yo. And then I watched you go with Brian Mitchell. These motherfuckers don't know what they're doing to a certain extent, right? Because they're wrestling. And I've wrestled for my entire life, and they're scrambling, doing crazy shit. He's doing like cartwheels and bullshit. And I was like, damn, dude, he's naturally talented. Me and Mike walk up to each other, and just like our eyes like lit up. We were like, oh yeah,
I'm
we
gonna
got,
say the
we got a
most
gym.
I'm gonna say the most respectful yet disrespectful thing about Brian Mitchell. And it's only disrespectful because of shit you've said on this podcast, but I mean this with the most utmost confidence. When I watch him, do you know who he reminds me of?
I don't know.
Now I'm drawing a blank. Oh,
We'll never know.
I know, right? Oh my God, how did I just do that?
Happens to me all the time. Literally
Short.
on the pod.
No, 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 no,
Which-
no.
which
Fought
one?
Jiri.
Oh, Jamal Hill?
Yes.
That's crazy.
He
He's gonna
reminds
love that.
he reminds me of Jamal Hill.
Oh my God.
Just like
Personality's the complete opposite, but I love that.
Yeah, no, but fight like the way he goes out there is just like
Unorthodox as shit.
unorthodox a little bit, goes out there,
Yeah.
bangs. Fuck, just like I feel like when he was in like the attitude that he carries into the ring is very much like Jamal Hill.
Brian's somebody like I give him a lot of shit. Uh,
That's just who you
because
are
he,
naturally, dog.
yeah, I give him a lot of shit, but like that kid works his ass off, right? And when I think about the amateurs on the scene now that are coming up, like you and him are the most consistent. Of the like young amateurs, the ones still in like novice Amy rules, like Brian fucking worked his ass off, didn't ask for a damn thing, uh, at the Monroeville location, and then now he's a 2-0 Amy fighter. He's good too.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I got much love and respect for that guy. It was funny because like when I first time I ever met him, I think he was teaching the MMA like grappling class or whatever
Yeah.
in Strip District. I was like, man, this motherfucker's an asshole. Like he don't say nothing. He just look mean as shit. And it was the same day that you were just talking about when we were grappling. He's like 30, 40 pounds heavier than me. And I didn't realize like what was happening. Like I told you the same. Like I was like,
Yeah.
I don't know why y'all are so hyped. When I say the entire fucking gym,
Oh yeah, it was
everybody on
like
the mat
that.
was just screaming, and
It
I'm
was
like,
like that.
what is happening?
It really was, bro.
Bro, I literally watched Lucas's round was right before mine. I watched everything he did and just tried it.
Yeah, bro.
That was literally all it was. Everything that he did, I literally just tried it and it was working. Like
Yeah.
it was nutty. Brian couldn't take me down. I took him down a few times and it was just like, And I remember Mike pulling me aside and he was like, dude, you're
Yeah.
about to fuck some shit up. And I was just like, okay, I guess so. Like, and Lucas, he said it. He was like, dude, you got it. And I was just like, dude, I have no idea what the fuck y'all are talking about. I don't even know what I'm doing. And he was like, that is why you got it. Like,
that is
Texted me
why.
about that.
Yeah, because one thing is like I peeped that because I was going with Lil Max, right? So
Mhm.
and everybody's watching, so I'm putting on a highlight reel, right? Everybody's why there's like 60 people. It's Mike's class, right? Max is flying up in the air, right? I'm oohing and
It
ahhing.
was
I'm having
crazy.
fun, right? I hit like a mixer on him, and I watched TJ try to do it in the next round, and I loved it because I was like, this motherfucker likes this. You know what I mean? Like
Mhm.
there's like there's like, hey, I'm just trying to win practice, or there's like, I enjoy this and I'm trying to have fun. I want to hit this cool new move that I just watched Lucas hit. And I was like,
Literally.
I watched him do that, and that to me, like that sparked something. I was like, he's got it. And then yeah, they were just fucking, and he like while all the energy was raising, right? It's like a fight. While all the energy was raising, like he was still
Calm.
dialed, having fun. Brian's having fun. That like it was a little moment on a fucking Tuesday night and at Stout, and in our heads there's probably fucking 80 people watching. There's probably like 10, right? But like that moment showed a lot for both of them.
Yeah.
Yeah.
See, I would say, man, there's categories, right, in which people actually do the stuff that they love, right? When you're talking about when you're actually flowing within the thing that is your purpose, right? There's people who like it, there's people who love it, there's people who live it. You got to figure out where you live, right? Like, are you somebody who likes the sport, who loves the sport, or do you live the sport? Somebody who lives it is going to have fun always, even when they're losing, because they're learning what they love to do, right? Somebody who just loves it, right? They can hardly function within it. Like they love it so much that they almost overthink. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Well,
And then the guy who likes it, he pulls up every once in a while,
well,
says he's a fighter, but really
isn't
ain't.
that even more relevant with something like fighting?
100%.
You know what I mean? Like
Yeah.
you can live it when you're doing something a little different. I would believe it's a little easier to live it
Mm-hmm.
being a basketball player
Mm-hmm.
than it is to be a fighter.
100%.
It's a little bit easier, right? And
100%.
when you're doing something like fighting, and it almost is a bridge into what I was going to ask about, right? Like I often, and the question's asked all the time. A lot of NFL players right now,
Mhm.
and you've been around a lot of guys in football. There's a lot of people who believe that if the UFC paid what the NFL paid, most of it would be a completely different ball game. There'd be all these guys from the NFL in MMA. And
Mhm.
while I believe that, I think there's a lot of athletes who
Hmm.
play football
What it
and would
translates.
dominate in mixed martial arts. But I actually don't think it's as many as people
I was going to
believe
say, I think there's a lot that
because I
wouldn't
think
translate.
there's a difference between being a really amazing athlete in a violent game of football
Right.
and being a fighter.
I think the
100%.
grind's different.
100%.
Like, I'm in all respect to football. I love football, right? But I do think like you gotta live it to a different, like you were about to cut weight. Like if you're going pro, you're going 45, dog. Like you gotta
That's
lose
funny that you said that because I
10,
almost said the same
you gotta
fucking
lose
thing
10
to you
extra
2 years
pounds, right?
ago.
Like it's a lifestyle thing, right?
Mhm.
It's completely different. And there's a lot of guys that like I knew a lot of football players when I was in college, and it's like you're not like, you know what I mean? It's like you're not living like you know, like you smoking, you're doing this and that. It's like you got to be dialed the fuck in,
And
right?
that was probably the craziest part about this whole journey for me. So obviously, like you usually find out 8 weeks out when you're about to have a fight. I found out January 4th that I was fighting February 1st.
Yeah, I
Yeah.
remember.
And I mean, it was like an instant trigger in my mind. Like, okay, I really got to slow down on everything. Like that day, I had gone out because it's my second job working as a bar back. They have like an industry party for all the bars and whatnot. I went out for that our New Year party, and I had my last glass of wine. And I was like, all right, it's time to lock the fuck in, stop drinking, slowed down damn near almost all the way on smoking. And then last 2 weeks, I was just like, okay, motherfucker, we're here. Like, you don't have a choice. If you want to be the best version of you, you have to stop. And that's exactly what it was. And I mean, this week itself, God has tested me so much this week. Like, it has been such a humbling week. And I mean, in every kind of way possible, whether it's like at my other, like my main job, I'm trying to go for my doctorate in veterinary medicine. I'm a surgical tech right now. And I mean, so many tests there, tests at home. My fucking cat, I'm ready to kill that little bitch and get rid of her. Like, I mean, there's just so much stuff that has happened just this week alone, even with 247, like the venue
Yeah.
being changed. Like, it was drilled into my mind, even by Mike, you know, you're about to be the first fight at the new facility.
Yeah.
That's the title no one can ever take away from you.
Yeah.
And granted, like, obviously that hurt not being able to have that, but at the same time, it just fueled the fire. Like, when Hunter texted me that, I texted him back and said, all right, word, I'm about to kill this kid now.
Yeah.
Because now I'm pissed.
I love that venue too. Murraysville's crazy.
Oh, they said it's like the biggest venue that
It's
they've
my
ever
favorite.
had.
You know, ironically, me and Hunter were talking but we were texting back and forth the day before, and I was like, "That's my favorite venue I've ever fought at." They sold the most tickets at that fight. My debut, February, is the like 247 blew it out the water, right? Because Cowboy fought Hoot, and then I pro debuted.
Mhm.
So those are like
It's meant to be,
three
baby.
crazy ticket
That
sellers,
is meant to
right?
be.
So
Yeah.
nobody's fought in that venue
Yeah.
since then.
Yeah, that was the last fight that I went to, funny enough.
Really?
That was the last fight I
That's
went to.
crazy.
I pulled up because he was like, yo, well, obviously Eddie is the boy,
Yeah,
so I had to
yeah.
watch him fight. He took that L, and then Trey was like, nah, we're staying for Lucas's fight. And dog, that was the first time I ever seen you fight. And I said, when I seen you come out, I was like, fuck is this little white boy with his nails painted? I was like, who is this kid?
Walking out the Elm Street.
Bro, and I seen you in that fucking ring. And when you put him down, looked at him and smiled and just walked up, my God, I said, oh shit.
I just did one of these. I said I told you.
Yeah, bro, it was wild. That shit was wild. But it's crazy how things come full circle like this. Like that was the last time I went to a 247, any fight, period. Like that was the last time I went to one. That was your debut. Now I get to have my debut there.
Yeah, and I think that's one thing we talked with Max about telling a story, right?
Mhm.
Where you were like, the story was, I'm gonna be the first person to open up this new venue for
Mhm.
247, right? And like I'm sure you hyped yourself up about that, right? And then, got other plans. And now it's like you're looking at it and you're like, it's still full circle in a different way. Right?
Exactly.
I was sitting in the audience, and now I'm sitting in the audience, right? You were sitting in the audience watching me, and now I'm sitting in the audience. And just being able to tell that story and like have your own way to kind of view it makes it a little bit more meaningful. I
And no,
feel like.
100%, man. Like I said, this whole week has been it's been very humbling. Like my mom keeps like every single day she calls me at least once a day and she's like, remember, confidence, not cockiness.
Yeah.
And that's really what it comes down to. Like, granted, obviously we've all seen Chase's first fight, the guy that I'm fighting. We've all seen his first fight. That shit, disrespectfully, that shit was pathetic. It was pathetic as fuck. Threw less than 20 punches, kept trying to go to the ground. You're supposed to be a ground guy, don't even look good. You lost on the ground, like. But at the same time, like I know you had to have trained more for this fight.
Yeah.
You have to.
Yeah, he's a fighter. You know what I mean?
Like you have to have
The
trained
fact
more.
he took an L in October and is ready to fight it in February tells something about who he is. You know what I
Exactly.
mean? He's about it.
Exactly. So I'm like, obviously I'm going in here with the mindset, God willing, I'm about to put this motherfucker down first round. But at the same time, I'm going in there with the mindset that this might go all 3 rounds. But I'm so in shape, so ready. Like we train 5-minute rounds. Like when we do our sparring sessions on Saturday or even our Tuesday nights, like we train 5-minute rounds. Like my body is so prepared for 3 twos. Like that shit's gonna.
What's crazy is when I came, we didn't do that. It was all amateurs, right? So like we'd run threes. I practiced on Tuesday. I had y'all didn't spar. We should have done that the week before, but I had Mike do threes for you and Moriarty. But we used to only do threes, and then now we have so many pros on the team, right? And all that happened within a year.
Yeah.
How much detriment? Obviously, there's a benefit from a cardio perspective to doing 5-minute rounds as an amateur, but is there a detriment from just imprinting your mind as far as how much time you have? Like, is there a
Yes.
trade-off to that?
Yes. His fight's going to be more of a sprint, right? But there's a lot of differences, right? So if you're a novice AMI, you have less than 3 fights. So you already don't know what you're doing compared to like somebody who's a pro and went through their entire pro career and now they have more time to deal with like the fight. So like it's already like novice, and then you add the time aspect, it's a sprint. You know what I mean? Like you're not running a long distance. You're this right. You're going right.
But wouldn't it make sense that if you're going to sprint for 3 minutes, that you could just go out there and bang for 5, and you'll be good for 3?
Well, the thing is like there's also factors on like, all right, his fights are 2 minutes.
2
right?
minutes, okay.
2-minute rounds, right? So if you get a takedown in 2 minutes, you're probably winning that round.
Yeah.
Like, for me to get the takedown probably takes 10 seconds. For you to even get up, it probably takes like 15 seconds, right? We'll just chalk it up, say 30 seconds, right? For the entire exchange, that's a fourth of the round, right? You guaranteed won a fourth of the round, right? So as long as you don't get fucking dropped, you're probably going to win that round. So like, it's almost like a higher, like you can't lose as like much, you know what I mean? Because in 5 minutes, right? I get taken down, I get back up. There's a lot more variables, right? I got time. the refs who are ultimately judging the fight, if it goes to decision, are like, all right, but if he gets taken down, it's like, I don't, he was on his back for fourth of that round, he lost. You know what I mean?
Hmm.
So I honestly kind of like the rules because it just adds the extra variables of stuff. But I can't wait for you to ground and pound and shit too. That would be
Oh
crazy.
man, that's honestly like my biggest things, which I don't do at practice just because I don't want to build the muscle memory doing it.
Yeah.
Elbows and knees.
I'm an elbow and kneeing motherfucker.
Yeah, that actually makes a lot of sense.
Yeah,
Bro.
I mean, you felt it when we were training the other day. You
Yeah.
said, "God damn, motherfucker, your hip just hit the shit out of me."
Bro, you fucking knocked me out. I'm not even kidding. I was like, I was training with him, right? And I was like, I'm gonna take a shot. And I was trying to teach him a darts, right? I'm gonna take a shot. He sprawls on me.
That
His
hip bone.
fucking hip bone
Yes.
goes
I
in the
mean,
back of my head, and I got rocked. Like I got like flash knocked out, and I don't. That doesn't happen to me very often. I was like, the fuck. I like took a couple seconds, bought some time, cracked a joke. I was and I was like, damn. I was like, hit somebody with that thing. Like, you fight a wrestler, you're fucked.
bro, it's crazy to watch you guys go at it now, bro. Because I've been a fan of Lucas's for a while, but to now see him in that ring and being able to do this shit, bro, it's cool as hell to see like he's gonna be in his corner. You know what I mean?
Not anymore.
Nah,
Will's
I
in.
got Coach Will. 'Cause,
Yeah, Will.
My boy
Yeah,
Brody sucks
Brody
that his
fell.
fight got canceled, but hey, it's a blessing for me because I get Coach Will and Coach Mike. Granted,
Yeah.
I would not complain
You
about
get
having
the- you
Lucas
get
in
the
my corner,
18.
but
I'll
Coach
be
Will
backstage
is
with you.
just the way that he understands. Like, granted, I don't even know him that well, but from what I've seen, the way that he understands this sport,
Gives you a lot of trust in what he's
I
saying.
mean, it is unreal. I mean, just reading his book, it's just like, who thinks of stuff like this?
Mhm.
Like,
He has a
genuinely, he has a book.
Yeah,
Oh
but
yeah, he's deep about this.
Yeah.
It's
yeah,
deep.
he's like what you talked about with like love and live. He lives it, right?
He lives
his
this
dream is to be a high level MMA Muay Thai coach, right? And
Wow.
he's making it happen. Mike is the same way. Like we're blessed with the coaches we have.
Right.
It's wild.
And Warren's starting to get like more invested in the fight team. Warren's, I mean, I'm with Warren like three times a week now. I mean, we really are blessed. And then like obviously like having the amateurs coming up and seeing the pros, like that definitely helps as
Mhm.
well. I'm excited to be in the audience because
Now you
your
get to go
boy's
crazy.
always doing something. Like I'm either commentating or I'm coaching. I'll warm you up, be backstage, but I'm excited to just watch as a
Yeah,
fan.
this will be a good card.
Yeah, if you ever
Yeah.
want to read this book, it's called The Combat Sports Strength and Conditioning Manual
Yep.
by Will Morrill. And I
Buy it
mean,
on Amazon.
It's
you
good.
know,
Yeah.
anybody, like if you want to understand not even what fighting is, but just understand how to perfectly, not, I don't want to say perfectly, just how to genuinely lead up to a fight with your workout program, with your cutting weight, your nutrition, just to have a basis general line, how to get your mind prep, to understand what you're going into, the right questions to ask your coaches, your teammates, family, like read the book. It's like 120 pages. It's nice, sweet, and
Wow.
short. It's meant for people who have a short mind span who hate reading books.
That's perfect for me.
Yeah, I had Will on Curious Jones back when he released that. That was like how him and I got connected.
What year? 2020.
Yeah. Yeah, had to have
I
been.
didn't even know.
Yeah, it was like I think the end of 2020.
We gotta get Will on because me and Will got a couple stories to talk. But let's look at that 247 card.
Yeah.
It's gonna be a crazy card, man.
You're kicking it off, right?
Yeah, it's me
You're
first.
kicking it off, and then
and then it's Nick.
we got Nick,
I don't know who the third guy is, and then
Italian gangbanger kicking people through the ropes and
dog.
shit.
I seen that
That was
video
sick.
this morning.
Yeah.
Yeah, bro, the video
That
I
was the
showed
coolest.
you.
Hey, might be the coolest thing I ever seen in live
Bro, this
sports.
man
Roundhouse
kicked
to
him.
the head, Spartan kicks you out the fucking ring.
Bro, you Spartan kick me out the ring. We'll wait for you outside.
Dude, if
My
you
whole family's waiting for
yeah,
you
that's what I was
outside.
gonna say.
Right?
If you Spartan kick me out the ring, my family has to fight you.
Yeah, bro, you gotta
That's-
line up with
That's
everybody.
crazy,
I'm crying in
bro.
the car.
Bro,
What?
you
Like,
Spartan
what?
kick me, bro?
I'm crying in the car if I get kicked out of the ring.
I'm definitely crying in the car.
You can edit that video in. Edit that video into this, 'cause I mean, it is
So
crazy.
we got TJ,
Yeah,
and we got Anthony Proctor versus Nick
yeah.
Alvarado,
Nick
That's
Alvarado.
That's my boy. He's gonna put Buddy down.
Val Caruso, and Jordan Oliver.
That's a banger.
Dude,
Actually,
Jordan Oliver's
surprised me a
kid.
lot when he beat
Yeah.
Craig Perry.
Yeah.
Val Caruso fights hard though. He had a fight. He fought Max, one of our boys,
Mhm.
and they had a banger. That'll be a good fight.
Will and JR.
Yeah, he kicks off. Will
That's
kicks
gonna be-
off the main. Yeah,
That's gonna be fire. I
that's
think
gonna be a bang.
I think JR is gonna be really surprised by Will. Like JR used to train with us, right? Now he's in
Mhm.
Southside. Will's improved a lot. I'm sure JR has too, but Will's improved a
He's-
lot, and he's really really good
Will's
striker, and
very
he's a
awkward.
gamer, bro.
He's a very awkward striker.
He's a gamer. Like
But it's a good thing, like not a
Yeah.
bad thing. He has his own style,
yeah, he does.
and he learns how to incorporate everyone else's style into his.
Yeah,
Like it's really dope.
Will's good, man.
And one of the best pad holders I know.
Yeah, mittens. That's what we call him.
Right.
You got
He's cold with the pads. Like
Carly Joe Thomas
Carly Joe. All right.
and Lilani.
If you don't, so that girl's 10, like 8-0 or something.
Yeah, she
if
was
you
supposed to be pretty good.
you've been around fighting, right? You guys been watching it. Carly Joe is the baddest motherfucker in Pittsburgh. Period. End of story. Don't give a fuck. And I'll tell you right now who would agree with me. The other bad, whoever you think is the baddest motherfucker in Pittsburgh, right? You
Exactly.
talking Kama or you talking about Justin? They would be like, yeah, Carly's
shit,
fucking-
Carly. Well, I guess we staying for your fight. We're
Carly's
leaving right after Will, but
fucking nuts, bro. I get scared to spar with her.
Damn.
She's crazy.
She's
bro.
that good.
She's so
yo,
fucking.
when the fuck was Super like at the gym?
Nah, dude, he be coming.
I seen that post. I was like,
I think 2020.
I missed this. Oh, okay, I wasn't even here. Okay,
And then
Makes me feel
there's only
better.
3 pro fights, right? Carly's not pro, is she?
No, Carly. I mean, might as well be, but no, she's not pro.
Advance Amy. Because then Nico and Russ,
Oh, Nico Petritis.
yes.
Dude, I love
badass.
Nico. I love Nico. He's a super good dude. Obviously, he fought Josh. But he's a super cool dude. North Carolina. He's got Ohio ties. I talk to him a lot. He's a good fighter too.
Yeah, I mean, to your point, last time I saw him fight was when he
Visoki.
fought Visoki, and
Right
that was
before I fought,
disappointing, but he's
He's good,
big,
man.
He's a
super
big
talented
motherfucker too.
Yeah, he's like 6'2". Big.
And then I'm super excited for the 2 co-heads. So obviously Justin Patton, Elijah Harris.
General.
JP.
I just want to get to see him fight live.
Yeah, I mean, oh my
fight
God,
live,
bro. You
Yeah.
haven't seen Justin fight
I
live?
haven't.
I've seen him fight
Justin
live.
fight live, like
He's a real dog to him.
he's got that I mean,
The only
did
thing
you
I'm
see
more
the video?
excited about is his walkout.
Yeah, the rooster shit. Did you see the video where that
Yeah.
they just released and it's
Yeah.
me talking about it? Like
Mhm.
he just gives you that like
Yep.
that old school fighter feeling where he don't care to get hit.
Thank
Thank
you.
you, bro.
I was been looking
That's
at it.
crazy.
I
That,
see it so
I was
right now.
going like this.
Damn.
man.
I was gonna reach across. And then Gino Morelli
Gino
fighting
Morello.
Derek Agaday.
I go to see.
He wrestled at Penn State,
Okay, so he's a good wrestler. Grapple games.
But
but you know who Wonder Boy is?
Yes.
His dad is his coach. Gino fights like Wonder Boy, but wrestled at Penn State.
Yeah.
3-0 pro.
Gino has, I mean,
Oh,
he's
Potential is
Yeah.
like
32, but
potential is very high.
I wouldn't be shocked if he wins this fight. I would not be shocked
I think he'll
if he
get
gets a
some.
phone call. Like,
Yeah, he'll probably
hey,
get-
short notice fight. You're gonna come up and fight on
He'd
a
probably get a
fucking
contender
early prelim
series,
or
yeah.
fight on the contender series.
Uh,
He's that.
That's the phone call I would
they-
need you to get.
because they know his name. So
Yeah, you got Wonder Boy in your fucking corner. You
how
better
far
know
am
my
I from
name.
that phone call? Shit. It depends. Yeah, and me, Mike, and Will like sit down and like actually systematically look at things like when do we potentially want to get in and stuff. I fight March 15th. I can't say the opponent, but it's a big step up. Some motherfuckers are gonna think I'm crazy because I have 3 fights and I have 8 fights total and this guy probably has like 30. But
I mean, you also went into a
And he's got a
jiu-jitsu
he's
thing,
got a
just
good
like-
he's got a good record too.
He's got a good record, winning
Yep.
record.
Yep.
7-5. So I'm excited. I beat somebody like that. I'm going to the upper echelon of people.
100%.
Right.
Yeah.
So then it's like I beat a couple contenders and then I'm getting that phone call. And I can't wait. I got the right people around me. We're building something here. I love this place.
Do you
Man.
think a lot of it has to do with like branding and publicity? Like I feel like sometimes guys get into certain scenarios. just
We've
because
talked
they're
about
doing
this a little bit, yeah.
You can. I know some people that like kind of snuck their way into the UFC.
Mhm.
And then got exposed.
Mm.
Right. So you can sneak your way in. Like there's a formula in which I could be in the UFC, I believe, like this fall, maybe get like a call if I went back last year, fought some like straight puds, went down to like a shitty state, fought some like I'm sitting at a like 7-0 record, beat nobody.
Mhm.
You can get in the UFC, right? But like you can get knocked out, highlight reel,
Right.
right? And everybody who you
Like
went to
Coach
high
talks
school
about
with
all
can
the
be like,
time.
damn, that's crazy.
Yeah,
And then
exactly.
never
Right.
get
Down
another
either.
chance.
Yeah, and then you don't get another shot. Or you go, you build yourself up, you start fighting more talented people as you progress, and then you're in the UFC and you have the talent and you have the experience, and that's what I'm on because I'm not trying to sneak my way in. If I never get in the UFC but I wasn't good enough, I'm cool with that. I don't want to get in the UFC and not, you know what I mean? Like
Not be who
I'm
you
not
are
trying to
right
be an
now,
0-2 guy.
if not better.
You know what I mean? If I'm going to the UFC, I want to have earned it.
I respect that.
Yeah.
So to my earlier question before we wrap this thing up, if I told you could pick one person from the football world that you've been around that would actually succeed
Mm.
in this
We
game.
all get the answer to this?
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, let me sit there and think about this real quick.
Are we
Because I mean, I was thinking who's done
like
it, right?
all time?
Yeah.
All time. If
Pickens.
George Pickens.
GP.
That's crazy. That's
That's a
I
crazy
wouldn't-
motherfucker. So yeah, I can definitely see that.
I could see him having. I don't know if he'd be. You know how we were talking about the lifestyle thing. I don't know if he'd be able to live
I'm saying
it.
that would be the most entertaining fight.
Yeah, I mean,
I love it though.
He's talking shit every punch.
He's like my favorite. He'd be like Kevin Holland.
He would find some
Oh, yeah.
problems to jump
Yeah.
off of.
He'd be like Kevin Holland. He'd be talking shit.
I love Kevin Holland. That boy is the funniest, most unorthodox fighter.
I
Even
love
though he
him,
lost
too.
the MVP, man. That
Yeah.
boy, they're both unorthodox fighters, but like, it's pretty good. I don't
What are
know.
you thinking?
honestly, as weird as this might sound, just because of his natural athleticism and he can actually scrap, OBJ, man.
OBJ? Yeah, he's super athletic.
Like his athleticism, he scrapped before, so like he
Oh, I know,
understands
man.
how to live that.
Steve Smith.
Oh,
man.
Steve
my
Smith Senior. You talking about
goodness.
scrap before?
Oh,
Steve Smith Senior,
my
and he would be able, he
goodness.
wouldn't be like too big. Like he'd be fighting at like 85, 70.
See,
Right? Steve Smith,
Ooh.
right? One of my favorite all-timers, and he's he
good
will fight anybody.
No, I'm changing mine. I'm changing mine now. Rest in peace, big dog. But Sean Taylor.
that's what I was going to say.
Sean Taylor. Oh,
Yeah,
Sean
I'm
Taylor.
trying to get
That's a
that.
good
That's what I was going with. The reason why I say Sean Taylor, bro, before he died, bro, like, talk about a person who ain't scared of nobody.
Nobody.
Like, you got it. I feel like with fighters, bro, like, you're talking about NFL guys transitioning over. I know for a fact, I'm talking about at least 80 to 90% couldn't do it. And the reason why I say that, bro, because the lifestyle is different, bro. Like, when you're playing football, bro, realistically, bro, I can go out there and play right now without really training and take a hit. But in fighting, bro, like, you're taking time to really piece things together. Football's an 11-man sport, bro. I can hide because of the playbook.
Mhm.
You know what I'm saying? Like, I
Yeah.
can make something shake behind the playbook. You're talking about fighting when it's one-on-one. So how you eat matters. How you sleep matters. Are you drinking and partying? A lot of the guys in the league party. Like,
Yeah.
even the
Every
day
chance
before
they
the
get,
game. You know what I'm
yeah.
saying? So it's like, you're talking about guys who would actually be able to go in and really live this lifestyle and really put their minds to it, bro. It would have to be guys who legitimately take themselves.
Reggie
Yeah.
White.
Reggie White's a great
Reggie
one.
White's a
Reggie White.
He'd be a
man.
great heavyweight.
Moves like a cat. Lives it. Would do it.
I feel like he'd be like Cyril Gahn or like what's his name? This big homie that
Man.
little ape stuff.
Y'all
Yeah.
talking big
I
people.
forget what his name is.
Fucking Derrick Henry.
Derrick Henry be a dog.
No.
Because the way that
I
he
got mine.
commits to
Ronnie
football.
Lott.
I got my. Believe it or not, I know exactly who would be great at this. Aaron Donald.
Yeah,
AD.
that's actually probably
I've
the best
trained with
pick.
him. I can say I've trained with him, bro. And when he played football, bro, the reason why he was a Hall of Famer in 10 years, you gotta understand how crazy that is. Because people don't give him enough notice about it. But he retired in 10 years because of the status he's
I love
gained
that.
in 10 years. Bro, most guys to get to that Hall of Fame level, it takes 14 to
Yeah,
15
think about
years.
who else has done that, right? Megatron, little less, but
You know?
like right.
You see what I'm saying?
Barry Sanders.
But then you're thinking about the position he's playing. Think about the position. He's going against 300-pound men, and he's like
Yeah.
270 moving them like they're joysticks.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? And then
Big dude.
he was 260, 270 with a 6-pack, 8-pack. So you're
Yeah.
telling me who's going to really live it? I'm saying AD
Yeah.
would go in there and put some people down.
Yeah,
Like,
you gotta have somebody to live it and somebody that's down to scrap.
Hmm.
And dude, I'd buy some. That's what they need to do. They need to get these real, like, I mean, Sean Taylor, obviously, rest in peace. But Sean Taylor versus Steve Smith, I'd buy the shit out of that.
What?
I'm about to-
I'm
They
there.
probably
I'm fucking
fought.
front
They
row.
probably
yeah.
played and fought each other. I bet we could. I bet they fought each other on the
You know,
field.
Le'Veon Bell boxes now.
Yeah, bro. He used to go to I went to the same boxing gym as him in Columbus. I saw him there like a
Okay.
couple times.
Wow.
Yeah,
He's pretty nice, too. He's not bad.
he's from like. Actually, my mom had him in daycare.
That's crazy.
Le'Veon, yeah, she had Le'Veon and Nick Van Nett.
That's crazy.
Mm.
Yeah,
I feel like anybody who lives their sport in any sport could do MMA, but you have to be willing to die by yourself. Like,
Hmm.
because there's an ego death that I feel like you have to face.
Nah. Say it right. Say it right. You got to be willing to die on your shield.
Yeah,
Yeah.
and then you gotta be able to
Yeah.
down, because if you don't down your shield, bro, like there's certain levels that certain people can take you. Like, for example, Jerome Bettis used to run people over consistently to break your will,
Mhm.
right? That's somebody who's gonna go in there and bang it out.
Marshawn Lynch.
Marshawn,
That would've been cool.
Marshawn Lynch.
We
He
just
would down
naming
the
football
shield.
players.
Dolphins and Ed Reed.
Ed Reed's a
Ed
good
Reed
one.
would go crazy.
See, I don't think Beast Mode would have done well fighting. I think he's a tough dude, but I think he is the type of guy that probably wouldn't live the
Yeah, that's
fight
fair.
thing. Like,
Fair
is he,
enough.
If
he's
he-
over on the
if he eating too
sideline
many
eating
Skittles.
Skittles,
Yeah.
fucking, I don't think that he's got that fighter.
This one's gonna surprise you,
Fun to
though.
watch.
Troy Polamalu.
Would
Talking
have
about
done a
somebody with
great
the
job.
The Samoan blood. First of all, they're fighters. Anybody
They-
from Hawaii,
They grow up
Yeah.
doing that.
Fighters.
Village
Hey,
to
take a
village.
punch, guaranteed.
guaranteed.
Those motherfuckers.
Steel jaw.
Hard as
Steel
hell.
jaw.
Titanium. Fuck steel.
Titanium.
Hey, that motherfucker.
Because the guys who are, like you said, the guys who are quiet, usually nicer, are typically insane. And the
Mhm.
reason why I say it like that, I used to have this saying, right? The goofy guy will fight you, right? But the silent guy will kill you.
Mm.
There's a difference, right? The guy who's goofy will fight you. He'll
Yeah.
fight you and he'll take you to the ends of the road, right? But the guy who ain't saying shit, sitting in the background, he's the
Mhm.
one who's gonna kill you.
Yeah.
So that's why, like,
Yeah.
guys like Troy Polamalu, why do you think he played the way he played? If you look back in the day, right, and listen to any of like the coaches talking about it, they used to have a playbook that was made for 10 people. The only other person that's not involved in this playbook is Troy Polamalu, because he's just gonna do what the fuck he wants to do to go figure it out to make it right.
I love that.
And they used to just trust it. Like, you'd hear Troy and how he would talk, bro. He was like, I'm not worried about it. Ryan Clark's back there.
Dude, he is such a different cat.
Yeah.
I've run into him 2 or 3 times. He's been like sitting at a Starbucks with his laptop, just dressed
Really?
all unassuming. Drove a minivan.
Mm-hmm.
Dude drove a minivan, lived in a real like normal neighborhood here
Does he
in
live around
Pittsburgh.
here still?
I don't know if he still does. I
He should
mean,
be a CIA agent because he looks so normal.
Bro, that's crazy. He just sitting on like a couple mil, just casually like
oh, I mean, dude,
just playing some
way more
sweats.
than a couple mil. I bet you he was probably sitting on a
Yeah.
If
ton
you
of
got
money.
a
just-
second contract in the NFL, you're sitting on more than
That's
a million.
crazy, bro. He's just chilling. I love that.
Perspective, right? First contract. This is kind of how I see it for you guys as well. Like, and it might be different in the NFL than it is in fighting, but like
Definitely was good.
they always say, like
Yeah.
the second contract is what you're fighting for because the first contract pays everybody else, pays your agent, all the things that you owe,
Yeah.
right? So you pay that off in your first contract. That second contract is when you actually start making money. So that's when you start seeing guys in that 43 million range, that 50 million range, and they're now not paying back everybody all this expensive stuff, right?
Yeah.
And that's kind of like, I'm curious to see where the fight world goes, and because it's such a growing sport. It's such like a fast growing sport, but I know for a fact what's missing in the sport itself is the ability to watch film and then identify key things that are going to help you go into the fight. Because I know some guys
That's why
get
John
I got
Jones
that.
is so damn good.
I got that with Will, Mike all sit down. Will sends me an hour-long video about this the way this motherfucker wipes his ass. Like literally,
Bro,
like
that's
the
different, bro.
specifics, right? And
That's important.
like that's what we got. That's what that like where you're talking
Mm-hmm.
about like what football people and the first person that did this in MMA was George St. Pierre.
Yeah, well,
Right.
ESP, yeah.
George St. Pierre is related to us. Like he's a Henzo affiliate, right?
Okay.
So Warren came up with John Danaher, who was GSP's coach,
Okay.
right? So like
The logo comes
yeah,
from.
that's where Henzo Gracie,
Wow.
right? So we have that like tie, we have that connection to those people. Like
Right.
our world, like our Henzo world is like can be expanded at any moment, right? If you go to any place in the country, you can go find a
So
Henzo. kid.
I'm curious, right? Because I feel like we're a lot of fighters, and you and I discussed this, and I think I talked to Will about this as well. Where a lot of fighters have to get over is that ego trip of watching film, because there is a certain point in time in when you're watching film where you get uncomfortable because you realize how good the guy is,
Yeah.
or you realize how good somebody's doing,
Mhm.
and you can't let that affect your mindset. Like for football, it's different because I'm watching my one-on-one matchup, but also I know I got 10 guys who are counting on me to get my job done. So there's a little bit more of a push for me to do my job than there is for somebody who's singled up one-on-one. You know what I'm saying?
Mhm.
So like in his perspective or in your perspective, we're watching a fighter. We're like, okay, well, every time he goes to throw his hook, he always moves his foot to the right. That's
Yeah.
just something small. Like for me as a receiver, I used to watch DBs everything. Which hand is he throwing? How fast does he move his shoulder? When does his shoulder move? Right? Does he lead with his shoulder? Does he lead with his feet? These are all things that like you hear in fighting, but the guys who are really good at fighting, like the John Jones, the
Yes.
GSPs, they can watch film and tell you what strike you're going to throw before you throw the strike.
Yeah.
Because they've watched so much film. But guys, right, you got to get through that ego death where they're like, well, I might psych myself out if I watch too much film with this guy. No, motherfucker. Understand what you're going against and
Yeah.
believe that
Or
whatever you're seeing.
I'm tough enough that I don't have to watch the film.
Yeah,
Yeah, a lot of
that's
people
it.
think they're just going to show up, right? If you don't have a game plan, people are good nowadays, right? Like that might have been a thing in the early 2000s. Like you could just show up,
Right.
bang, right? But now people are good, bro. And I really think watching films like and just like being intelligent, having a high fight IQ is my best ability, right? I think that is where over all the people that I'm about to start fighting, that's where I'm head and shoulders above them. And I really think that that's like a really cool perspective because football players have been doing it.
Mhm.
And I think you're right. Like I think that's where a lot of people lack. A lot of people don't watch film and the tendencies and all that shit, and even taking your ego out of it, like you said, and like even watching the fight. Sometimes, bro, you watch film, but I don't want to watch the fights he wins because you'd be scared, bro. Because
Right.
like this motherfucker hits hard, right? Or
Mhm.
yeah, that shit's scary.
And that thing is like for us, like when you're watching a football film, right? Like I used to like to watch the best player, and I wanted to see when he did his best, what was he doing? How was he feeling? I'm a psycho, bro. Like I'm a psychological guy. The reason I say I'm a psycho because I want to know about your sister, your cousin, your brother, your auntie.
Yeah.
And then while I'm playing against you, I'm talking shit to you about all four, right? So like, but in the same sense, though, like you know what I'm saying? Like, yeah, you
I know
feel
exactly
me?
what you're saying.
So like when you get into that mode, bro, now I'm watching your technique. Then I'm watching you in the if I was a fighter, how I would watch it in my head, if I know I only got 3 rounds, right? I want to see what did you do in the first round, right? Are you the type of guy that sits back and kind of like to feel things out, or you're coming out right now and banging? Now I want to get to your second period, if we even make them. And your second period is your arms dropping because you're tired.
Yeah.
That's just like if I was a fighter, because I'm thinking like football and I'm trying to translate it. Like if I'm watching as a fighter, okay, third round, all you wanted to do is to be on the cage. And you know what I'm talking about in this sense at this point.
Mhm.
All you wanted to do is be on the cage. Why? Because you're tired. So now I know I got to keep you off of me and make you force you to stand is keep your stamina. Because if you can't keep your stamina, I'm still here.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So like that type of stuff is like when you watch film, bro, it's like it goes deeper than watching just the next step. I'm thinking about what is your psyche going into this next round? Because I've seen you do it, right? And if you're
Yeah.
lucky in your situation, he has 9, 10, 11, 30 fights, right? You might find different film on him, right? But you're gonna see like, okay, like he always does this. And when he's tired, like he goes from a high guard to he's just gonna drop his hands and start throwing from here.
Yeah.
Okay, bet. When is that coming? That coming second round, coming third round? Is it coming?
And to your point, what does that mean, right? There's both the, hey, there's an opportunity for me,
Exactly.
but it also means I can flip my gas tank on because he's tired.
Right.
Or psychologically let him, even I might be tired, but when I see the tell that he's tired, I'm going to not show that I'm tired because I want him to
Exactly.
mentally break to
Yeah.
be like, oh, fuck, I'm tired.
That mental.
And Lucas isn't tired.
You ever watch the Art of
TJ's
War?
not tired right
Yeah.
now.
Yeah.
Or like listen to the Art of War?
Yeah.
Fuck yeah.
Bro, so you gotta think about it. Like, think about it, right? Back in the day, right now, our sports are actual sports that people watch. But back in the day, the sport and the thing to do was to be a warrior, right? So you gotta be prepared and trained to kill. That's why I always send this guy Spartan stuff. You gotta be trained to kill somebody, right? So in that psyche, right? How were they preparing for that moment? Like, what was their preparation? You know what I'm saying? Now we have the opportunity to watch film. So
Yeah.
now I can study you like I'm studying going to school.
Yeah.
I can see on how you're stepping. I can see when you're tired. I can see on who's talking to you. Who do you listen to most in your corner? This is where my head would go. Like, I used to be so psychotic with watching film, bro. I used to ask questions like this. Like, if it was a defensive coordinator that we knew that we were going against, right? Who's his tree? Like, who's his mentor? Because now I know when he's fucking up on his shit, he's going to resort back to his training that he got when he was coming up, right?
Yeah.
So now, like,
That's next level shit.
it's next level, right? So if I was a fighter, right, I'm like, okay, this is what he likes to do. But now who's his trainer?
Yeah.
Because his trainer's going to teach him certain things that he's going to really push all his learning on, right?
Mhm.
And then when he's going back and resorting back to when he's tired, he's going to resort back to his training. So now I'm going to watch him, then I'm going to watch his trainer. His trainer did this, this, and this. Okay, now we watch his fight.
Yeah.
He picked that up from his trainer.
Yeah.
So now I know similarity.
And this is my brother.
Yeah.
That's just how it works. Like,
Yeah, bro. That you need that. You need somebody like that. Like, luckily, as you come up, like Mike will be more involved in shit, and like they're
100%.
like that. They was
I
like
already know it.
Will sends me a video on like in the first like 5 minutes of it's like psyche, right? What's this dude's like physical tells.
right.
My pro debut, the dude fought, Bobby Murda.
Yeah.
He fought Bobby right before me, right? Him and Bobby went to a decision.
Wow.
But and it was a banger, right? It was a good fight. Bobby won, right? But and like pretty distinctly, like he won. But it was a good fight.
Right.
But there was some things that I saw him cracking, like mentally.
Mm.
And me and my opponent were fighting, and he cracks me. But I knew in the back of my head that he would break because I know that people will break, right? If I've seen you break once, you have that.
Do it again.
Yeah.
You have that
You
tendency.
say whatever you want about me, I haven't fucking broken yet, right?
Right.
Like that hasn't happened, right? So when people watch my film, like I might fucking throw too many flying knees, I might do this or that, but like I'm gonna fucking be there. So I watched him fight. And I knew if I started talking shit in the second round, not the first, in the second when I started to get an
I like that.
advantage. And that was what Will said. He was like, first round, we're not talking too much shit. Once you start to get ahead, you're talking shit, he's gonna melt. Right. So then I started talking shit, took him down, like talking hella shit.
Talking
right?
hell.
And then when I dropped him, I like stand over him with his tongue out. And like I got that finish in that fight because it was I believe it was a mental warfare. Right.
100%.
Obviously the zigs and the zags, but mentally that's where it was. And when I went to Worlds, it's the same thing. It was like I was looking at these kids and like obviously technically I didn't end up winning, but I was looking at these kids and I was texting my girl, I was texting Mike, I was like I'm tougher than every fucking kid here. Like it's not even like this isn't fair.
Right.
You know what I
One
mean?
less
Like
thing that you have
they're
to think
they're
about.
head and shoulders above me in the actual sport of jiu-jitsu.
Which is
However,
tough as
I'm
fuck.
just like
You're willing to die on the shield.
I've been there, done
Facts.
that, and yeah, like I was like I'd be willing to go out right now. Like I was in a couple chokes in my first match where like a lot of people would have tapped, and I was like I'd go out. And like you have to have that too. You have to have that ability. So when I watch the film, that's something I look at, right? Is this motherfucker gonna fight through positions? All right, maybe I'm not gonna hold on to this choke for too long because I might burn my arms out because this motherfucker's not gonna tap,
Right.
right? But if I see, he's gonna tap, then
You're gonna hold that extra
We'll hold
second.
that.
yeah.
So like for me, I have a question for you guys, man, in the fight world. And I know you've been doing this a while with him. So like
Yeah.
who would you guys consider the number one thing right now that is genuinely lacking from the sport other than film? Because for me right now, I think it's just branding and marketing. And the reason why I say that is just because like everybody loves the fight world, but not a lot of people are paying you guys the amount of money that you should be paid, in my personal
100%. I think if we're talking like actual sport, I think a lot of people, I think recovery and just living like a pro athlete. Because we don't have the resources. It's like, you go to the Steelers facility, they probably got
Everything.
they had chambers and this and that, right? I was in a D1 facility, like I know what those look like. Fighters don't have enough money, so they don't have access to that shit. And that's on the lower level. Once you get to the UFC, they have access to the Apex and whatnot. But I do think a lot of people, branding is a big thing. And I think a lot of it is like fighting it's a scary thing to brand because if you lose, like you got to eat it, right? Like if I talk shit to somebody and I lose, I got to eat that. And a lot of people are scared to do it. A lot of people are scared to talk their shit because, at the end of the day, like I tell you, like you could lose tomorrow, right?
Yeah,
That's
100%.
that's a reality of it, right?
It's
You
not
can
like
get
the fight
knocked.
hasn't gone through my mind.
Yeah.
I got faith in God. That's what
Yeah,
it comes down to
yeah.
in my mind. Like I got faith in God. He ain't bring me here throughout these past 5 years
for
to
nothing.
put me in this position. The way that it's all led up to being right here, I got faith in the plan.
Talk about what Hunter, if you didn't already, talk about what Hunter sent you.
Nah, I'll read this so we can close this out because I got to cut.
Yeah, the 247 thing.
Yeah, the thing I just showed you.
Mm-hmm.
So got the text from Hunter last night that the venue was changing about 6:45. I replied to him, damn, I was looking forward to being the first fight ever in the new arena, but it's all good. Still going to be a spectacle. I'm coming to bang. One request, make me red because I hate blue. Let's get this work in and put on a great show. He responds to me, I know, brother, trust me. I wanted to. We all did. This is the absolute last thing we wanted. Well, second to last. Canceling the show is not an option. We got this. I responded, we'll make the most of it regardless. Simply put me in kill mode. That's it. I'm ready to die on my sword with my shield. Hope he is. And I said, I'm not sure if you're religious, but this is a test from God. He gives the toughest battles to his strongest warrior. 247 must be really changing the world for the better, and the devil hates it. But we always come out on top with the man upstairs backing us. Hunter hits me with, that just got me hyped. Let's go. You probably didn't know, but the name 247 is actually a reference to 2 Timothy 4:7. I have fought the good fight, I have finished the race, and I have kept faith. And what most of y'all won't know, that my government name is Timothy. This is my destiny. If that ain't destiny, I don't know what is.
I love that.
That's awesome.
I love that.
Listen, dude, appreciate you guys both coming on. Trey, it's link up in the future.
For
Yeah, I
sure,
think we
man.
got a lot going on. And TJ, all the more success, buddy. Good luck.
Appreciate you, brother.
I'll be there. I'll be in the front row with my 5-year-old. We'll
Hey,
be cheering you
I'll
on.
be the first one in that mall, so
Yeah.
you're gonna definitely see.
Hey, come
Love
early.
it. Yes, absolutely.
I just want to say this. I want to make sure y'all hear it. This fight is gonna put my name on the map. By the end of the year, the world will know me.
Hell yeah.
I like that.
Love that. Hell yeah.